Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now that it's February, it's time to talk about what I watched in the previous month, and this has now become easily one of my favorite series that I've done here on YouTube, and I can't wait to talk about everything that I saw last month. So without further ado, let's get started. As always, please make sure to comment down below what you saw last month and what was the best thing you saw, what was the worst thing you saw. I'd love to hear all about it because every single time you guys put that you watched a movie that you recommend, I add it to my watch list, and that's why now my watch list has 559 movies. I will get to them at one point. I didn't see as many movies as previous months, last month, because I only think I saw like 19 or 20 things in total, including TV shows and movies, which I do have 2 TV shows to talk about, one being WandaVision, and I can't wait to finally talk about it on my channel. But last month was a crazy month. It was really busy. I started college again and it's been hectic. You know, I've had to change my routine now because now I have school and YouTube plus other stuff, and it's just been a little crazy to get the hang of everything again. Now for real, let's start talking about some movies I saw. So I started the month as well as the year watching Tenet, and I saw this on January 1st, first day of the year, and it was a great way to start the year. I mean, that movie's awesome. You guys know I love this movie. This was the second time that I saw it. First time I saw it was at the movie theater, and the experience of watching it at home and at the theater is completely different because at the movie theater there were some parts that I missed and I couldn't understand, and I'm a subtitles girl. Like, I love watching movies with subtitles. I cannot watch any movie without subtitles, and because of this pandemic, being at home all the time and watching movies all the time at my house, I've gotten even more used to subtitles. And when I did go to see Tenet at the theater, I was like, wait, there's no subtitles. So now watching it at home with subtitles, it was so much better in my opinion. Like, I understood the movie way better and got points much faster because I could hear what they were saying way clearer, as well as I could pause and rewind. It helped. It just helped watching it at home. I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I think this movie is awesome, and it did move up 1 in my Christopher Nolan ranking. I'll put my updated Nolan ranking here. It really didn't change that much. I just put it above Batman Begins, I think, because it's so good. I think it's so well done and the visuals are stunning. I love Christopher Nolan's mind, and anything that he does I'm gonna love in some way, shape, or form. So then I was looking at Netflix for what movie to watch, and I found The Founder, and I really liked this movie and it was so good, and I really rarely hear people talking about it, and I think people should talk about it more because it's one of the best biopics that I've ever seen, and it's a story that I didn't even know about because what I went into thinking the story was about was completely different. I went into thinking this was going to be how McDonald's started, not how some guy went in there and basically stole the company. What I love so much about biopics is that after the movie I want to research and I want to learn more about this situation. These stories are not really told as often, or at least I'm not as familiar with, and that's why I loved this movie because first of all, it was amazing. The acting was phenomenal. Michael Keaton did an incredible job. The directing was amazing. I loved the energy that it had. I just loved this movie completely from beginning to end, and the screenplay is one of the best biopic screenplays I have ever seen. And like I said, I just loved learning about this story, and I just love biopics, and this is for sure one of my favorite biopics. And this isn't even the best biopic that I saw this month, so yeah, let's just keep going. Then I rewatched Star Wars, and I did that because I'm in the middle of a Star Wars series, which I know I haven't posted a Star Wars movie review in a while, but I've been really busy and I promise I'm gonna get those out. But anyway, Star Wars, I mean, it's awesome. I'm not really gonna focus too much on it because I talked about it on my channel in great length, but I just really like this movie and it gets better and better every single time that I watch it. Then I saw for the first time Dr. No, and it was my first Sean Connery Bond movie, and I think this movie's pretty average. Like, I liked it, but at the same time there's a lot that I didn't like about it. And before I continue, No Time to Die was moved, and that's why my Bond reviews have been kind of slowing down because I was planning on finishing the Bond reviews by the time No Time to Die came out, but if No Time to Die is now coming out in October, I'm like stretching it out a little bit, so you'll still be getting Bond reviews, just not every single week. Then I went to the movie theater and saw Promising Young Woman, and I adored this one. The only reason I didn't give this one 5 stars is because of the ending. I'm hesitant about the ending. Like, I liked it, but I didn't like it, and something happened in there that I was like, oh my god, no way you just did that. So yeah, I'm just a little hesitant there. Also, Golden Globe nominations, I just want to talk about that really quickly because 3 women are nominated for Best Director, and 2 of them are POC. Thank you. Sorry, I just had to mention that in there because Emerald Fennell is nominated for Promising Young Woman as well as other amazing women. Then I rewatched a childhood favorite of mine, Labyrinth. I absolutely love this one. And David Bowie is just great. I love him so much. He's great in this. So I haven't seen this movie since I was really little because I used to just watch this on TV all of the time, and I wanted to revisit it, and I really like that I still can enjoy this movie, and I think the plot is still pretty good. I think for the most part the effect aged pretty well because most of them are practical effects, but there's some scenes that have just not aged that well. And like now that I'm older, I realize that like certain scenes are way more for kids, even though I used to think this movie was so terrifying as a little kid. I don't know if you guys saw this movie when you were young, but did this movie scare you? Because this movie definitely scared me. But it's so creative, it's so unique. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't think I ever will. It's just one of a kind, and I love it so much, and I'm so happy that I was still able to really enjoy it. Then I saw 17 again. I really liked this one, and it was so much fun, and I think Zac Efron did an amazing job. I just think he's fit for these type of characters, like that the character that's in the movie. It was the type of thing where I kind of expected what was sort of gonna happen, but I had so much fun with it, and it was so funny, especially Thomas Lennon's character. He was hilarious. Like, he made me laugh the entire time. I can't wait to rewatch this. I know this is gonna be one of those movies that I rewatch every now and then because it's great. All of the movies that I've mentioned so far, I definitely recommend go ahead and watch them, but the next two are questionable if you should watch them, and I'm disappointed that I didn't like this one that I'm gonna talk about, and it is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I was really excited for this one. I saw that they put it on Netflix, and I love the cast. Plus, the story really intrigued me. I didn't really know what it was about. I just know it was mysterious vibes, creepy house, and then I saw the movie, and I feel like I completely wasted my time. To say the least, that I just felt like the movie had no plot. I feel like there was no purpose to anything. I didn't like get anything. I didn't really get attached to any characters. I thought the characters were meh, and it just like felt disappointing. I finished the movie, and I watched this with my family, and we all looked around and we were like, this is it? I don't know, it's one of those things where it just didn't even feel like it had a plot. It didn't feel like it had anything, if that makes any sense. The directing was really strong, however, I will be honest, and the acting did come through. Like, everybody acted really well in this movie. It just wasn't for me, and I wish it was, and I wish I really liked this because I was so excited to watch. The next one that I saw, I think I rated it a little bit high, but Megan is Missing. Yeah, I gave it a full star instead of half a star. The movie was really bad. Like, it was really, really terrible. I'm not a huge fan of found footage horror. I've kind of grown an appreciation for it over the years because when I first really got into horror movies, you would not catch me watching found footage horror. I don't know, I just hate the type of format of these movies. Like, I can't seem to get into them. I would have enjoyed it if the acting was good. The acting was so bad in this movie, and it's laughable. Like, me and my friend, we watched this and we were just laughing the whole time until the last 30 minutes because it got pretty serious there and really, really scary. But the last 30 minutes made me freak out so much because there was a certain scene, and if you've seen the movie, you know, I don't even have to say anything, but you just know. And it was gross and it was terrible, and that's why I gave it 1 star, because it freaked me out. And I mean, that's what horror movies are supposed to do, freak you out. Then I went ahead and rewatched one of my favorite movies of all time, Little Women from 2019. I just love the story of Little Women, but I think this adaptation is so good because I love the acting in this movie. I love Saoirse Ronan, I love Florence Pugh, I love Emma Watson, I love Eliza Scanlon, I love Laura Dern, I love Timothée Chalamet as Laurie. Meryl Streep is also in this one. I really like the cast of this movie because I think they embody these characters really well. And what I love so much about this movie is that I feel like they make every single sister relatable to somebody, and you get kind of attached to one of the sisters and you understand each of their situations separately, and I like that they each have their own story. The movie focuses on something like every single movie does, but I really liked how each sister got their own story in this book, and it's such a satisfying movie. And by the time the credits roll, or I should say by the time it's like the last scene, I'm just bawling my eyes out. Like, it's so emotional, and I love it, and I love what it has to say about society and being a woman.
I just feel like women.
By the way, I love the way the story is told through parallels and the editing, how it's switching back and forth. I think it does an incredible job. The directing was phenomenal. Greta Gerwig did an amazing job, and this is my favorite movie from hers. I have seen Lady Bird. Lady Bird is fantastic, but this one I think is so special. Then I continued watching some DCEU movies because I am trying to get through the entire universe to make a ranking video here on YouTube, and I watched Shazam for the first time, and I really liked it. Like, I really enjoyed this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I loved the acting. I thought it was so hilarious, and that just goes for the entire movie. It was so funny. It was totally not serious, and that's what I liked about it, because I just wanted to watch a very fun superhero movie, and that's what I felt like I did end up watching. I think Zachary Levi did such a good job at acting. Like, if there was a boy, like a young boy inside him, I think he did such a great job in that. And I liked the kids, and something that I liked about the kids was that they looked like kids, and I really liked the ending, and I just like the entire movie. Like, there's not really much I can say about it, but I just really had fun with it. It's now my second favorite DCEU movie, so yeah, that's how much I liked it. Then I saw a phenomenal movie, Pieces of a Woman, and ever since this movie got buzz at the festivals last year, I wanted to watch this so bad, and I'm so happy that they finally put it on Netflix, and it's everything that I wanted it to be and more. It was as amazing as everybody said. And before I continue giving my thoughts on it, I was wondering, should I count this as a 2021 release or a 2020 release, because I wanted to put this in my 2021 ranked, but this movie technically came out in 2020, but I don't know if I should count it as a 2020 or 2021. You let me know. I don't know, and I just wanted to ask you guys. But anyway, this movie is phenomenal, and the acting, Vanessa Kirby, she did so good, and it felt so believable. It didn't even feel like I was watching a movie, but a person actually going through what she went through, and she does such a great job of just showing grief in so many different stages. I really loved her performance, and for me, she could definitely take the Best Actress award. About that opening scene, it felt so realistic, and I was actually watching an interview with Vanessa Kirby. She did it with Amanda Seyfried. It was an Actors on Actors interview. I'll link it down below for you guys, and she was talking about how they had to film that scene, and she said that it wouldn't have been possible if she actually didn't get this woman who let her see her birth, her home birth. And I think that's amazing that when actors kind of talk about other people that inspire their role, because she has never given birth, so she was talking about how she didn't really know how to do it correctly, and she wanted to represent women because this movie was about them. And she said that she met with this midwife who would kind of explain the entire process, and then the midwife had a woman giving birth, and this woman kindly just let Vanessa Kirby be there, and she said that if it wasn't for this woman, that scene probably wouldn't have been what it is. And I think that's fantastic that she said that, and I'm gonna link the interview down below if you guys want to check it out. And the directing is so good, and every scene is just perfectly crafted and taken care of. And I love the way the camera lingers on screen, and it feels like you're a part of them. Like, every single one of you, I've been watching WandaVision, and I can't wait to talk about, and I'm so happy to finally be able to talk about WandaVision here, because WandaVision is so good, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. And I don't do these what I watch videos with spoilers, but I'm gonna spoil WandaVision for a little bit. So if you haven't seen WandaVision, skip over here. Just know that I'm loving the show so far. I just need to talk about spoilers. Quicksilver? Evan Peters Quicksilver? Are you kidding me? Guys, I've been like commenting on all these theory videos. Oh, I think Quicksilver's gonna come out. On Twitter, people have been like, hey, who do you guys think could come out? And I've been like, Evan Peters Quicksilver, because I think it's possible that he could come out now that Disney owns X-Men as well. I'm just happy to see him. I can't wait to see what else happens, and I just love the show. I love this show so much. And if you follow me on Letterboxd, every single time I watch an episode, I put my reaction on Letterboxd and like talk about it really quickly. This is the best thing Marvel has ever done, and I can't believe they put this show out first, because I wonder if other Marvel shows are going to beat this, like be better than this, because this is so original and so good. And also, Monica Rambeau is now one of my favorite MCU characters. She's amazing, and I just can't wait to see more. Then I saw a really amazing movie that, again, I don't hear anybody talk about, Bad Samaritan. It was so good, and I'm not gonna tell you what this movie is about, because I think going into it blind is better. It was just a really good thriller. Like, I had enough fun with it. There were some parts where I could find plot holes. There was some stuff that I felt were just like extra. Like, there were some situations that the characters could have easily gotten out of, but the movie just extended it, you know, for runtime. But for the most part, I had a lot of fun with it. Then I saw The Prestige, or I should say rewatched, and I mean, what can I tell you other than I absolutely adore this movie. I think it's Nolan's best. It's my favorite Nolan movie, and one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it's so good at what it does, because the whole movie, to me, it feels like a magic show and Christopher Nolan is the magician, because the answer is right in our face, but we just don't see it, and I think that's amazing that Nolan was able to do that. I do want to quickly remind you guys that I have done reviews for some of these movies, so all of those reviews are going to be linked down below if you want to go ahead and check out my more in-depth thoughts on these movies. Then I saw the second biopic I was talking about, and the best biopic that I've seen ever, and also now one of my favorite movies, The Social Network. Wow, so good. I had started this a while ago, but I never finished it, and I'm glad I didn't finish it then, because I don't think I would have appreciated it as much as I do now. But wow, was this good. And I just don't have any words for this. Just the editing, directing, like the writing of this movie, phenomenal. Plus the acting, and the one that stole the show for me was Andrew Garfield. I didn't know the full story of what was happening here, and it's just such an interesting story, and again, another frustrating one. All of these biopics frustrate the hell out of me, but it was so good. I think this is one of Fincher's best. My favorite Fincher is still Gone Girl, but I think this this one is better than Gone Girl. Like, I think this is the best Fincher movie I've ever seen. Then I finished the show, The Queen's Gambit, and I'm so happy that I finally had a chance to sit down and watch the full thing because this show is top tier Netflix original series. I really enjoyed this. Anya Taylor-Joy continues to serve. I'm a huge fan of chess and I'm a huge chess player, so it was really like fun to see her beat a bunch of men. It was so entertaining to do that. But the show is much more than chess, and it plays into addiction and obsession, and I think it does everything in such a great way. And each episode felt like it could be a movie in a sense. Like, it just felt like a really long movie because the production design was so good and the directing was phenomenal, and the visuals. I liked when she would see the chess pieces on top of her and she would imagine everything in her head. It was so good, and I was so blown away by it because I think it's near perfect in my opinion. There was, I think, maybe one episode that I felt like didn't really do much for me, but everything else I think was perfect and just amazing. Then I saw The Social Dilemma, and all I have to say about that is that technology is scary. That's it. That's all I have to say. And I ended the month off by watching kind of a disappointing movie, The Little Things. This movie just felt incomplete. Like, it ended and I was like, that's it? That's how you're gonna end it? The acting was decent. I don't think it was anything out of the ordinary. I think the best was Denzel Washington. I think he just always does a really great job. Rami Malek, sometimes his scenes felt very extra, and I think the premise of the movie was super interesting. I just felt like it was kind of a wasted opportunity in a lot of ways. By the time the credits rolled and the movie ended, I felt like it didn't really get anywhere, and I felt unsatisfied. And I was gonna make a whole review of it because it is a new release. I didn't even want to talk about it because I was just like, I don't even know what else I would say other than I was disappointed. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Like I said at the beginning, these are my favorite videos to make because I just get to talk about so many movies at once with you guys, and I'd like to try to make these videos very conversational, as well as all my videos. I like it to feel like you're having a conversation with me, and especially with these ones, I just talk on and on about movies. And just thank you for watching if you've made it this far. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe if you like this type of video because I post weekly movie content and you won't want to miss out on all of my videos that I have planned. And yeah, that's about it for today's video. Make sure to comment down below if you haven't already what you saw last month. I would love to hear it, and I'll make sure to see you guys next time. Bye guys!